Children have the benefit of a boundless imagination, to be anything they want to be, but most importantly of all, to believe anything they want to believe. It's only when we grow up that our minds develop limitations, that the I cans become I cannots, and we forget the freedom of childhood. So I ask you to suspend your belief just for a short while and fully immerse yourself in a beautiful film that may make you remember what it's like to be truly free. My name is Isla, and this is my review of Studio Colorido's
Penguin, Highway.
From the opening scene, we are thrust into the mind of 10-year-old Aoyama. He's a smart, straightforward, inquisitive wannabe scientist who is a little full of himself. On his way to school, he meets a group of penguins huddled in the field near his house, and the mysteries of these adorable creatures begins to grow. Where did they come from? Why have they travelled so far from Antarctica? And is the lady in the dentist office connected?
Penguin da!
Penguin Highway is a film filled with interconnecting mysteries that can only be solved by its cast of children, because when objects can turn into penguins and strange floating orbs of water appear out of nowhere, only a child will look at this abnormal situation and accept it. As an adult watching, it can get a little confusing. This will be frustrating for many, but that's why I ask you to suspend your belief going in, because life is full of unanswerable questions. So why can't a fictional world be full of them too? While its plot can feel a little shaky at times, Penguin Highway more than makes up for this with its cast. The relationship between Aoyama and the nameless lady is fantastic. Their dialogue and back and forth exchanges keep the pace of this film moving when it could have fallen flat. There are a host of other side characters that are a great source of comic relief, but this film is not short of that. There are genuine laugh-out-loud moments which play on their innocence. As a seasoned anime fan, I'm no stranger to a good oppai joke, and while this can get a little stale at times, the way writer Makoto Ueda peppers them into conversation is honestly hilarious, because essentially we are experiencing this world through the eyes of a 10-year-old, young enough to still hold on to innocent belief, but old enough to know a good thing when he sees it. When the original book was released by Tomihiko Morimi, he was praised on his ability to get into the mind of a 10-year-old, and that praise should be passed on to this film. It's so easy to be swept up in the existence of randomly generated, absolutely awe-inducing penguins in this gloriously drawn world, and while its artwork is something to be commended, it's actually its cinematography that stands out. Every angle that director Hiroyasu Ishida chooses feels carefully crafted and carries us through each scene. There is a shot in particular near the end of the film where the camera follows from the point of view of our main characters, and that motion gave me such a rush. Every moment in this film is also highlighted by its soundtrack, from the plodding trumpet of the Penguin March to the crescendo during the movie's tensest moments. It's the music that gives this film impact where it needs it. So without question, this is Studio Colorido's finest work to date, and it deserves to see success.
あれは何ですか？ペンギンでしょ?
Of course, while this film is a delight, it is delightfully flawed. You may leave the cinema with more questions than when you went in, and its surrealist imagery might not be for everyone. In fact, you may find it a little absurd. But as a huge fan of magical realism, I found myself swept up by an adventurous tale like no other. Penguin Highway is nothing if not a fun journey. I may have left the cinema with a few questions, but I had the biggest smile on my face. And most importantly, I was full of penguin energy. When you're a child, you have the benefit of boundless imagination, the ability to believe in the unbelievable, and the cannots become I can. Who's to say that has to go away when we become adults? Aoyama is so desperate to grow up, but watching this film I was desperate to go back to a time where my limits were limitless, and I could believe in anything. So I'm gonna go out, throw a couple of cans and see if I can create a penguin of my own, and in 2019 you should go watch this movie and see if you want to do the same.